And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford along with you here this morning. You can see his picture there on the left. The man, the myth, the legend, Juju Phillips, is scheduled to join us this morning. Have not heard from him yet, but he told me he would be live and in a living color today, so we'll see. Let me go in here and check on our pick'em. I know we've had a few more people to sign up. Let's see here. I'll post it in just a few minutes. I'll post the link again so you can get in. Let's see what we got. Oh, got quite a few. Todd Herms has gotten in. Richie, Randall, Michael Powell, Milton Sane, Mikey, Juju, Jim Rink from New Jersey, Dennis Punch, For Rembert, Dennis Lee, Cabe, Adam, and myself. There's room for more. We can take all comers, so if you'd like to be part of that, we'd love to have you to join. So keep that in mind. I'll post the link here in just a minute. I have to figure out and remember where I get it from, but I'll get there, I promise. I had an opportunity yesterday. I think I posted on my line that the reason I was late is I got a good friend. He does mornings up in Baltimore. And he, anytime there's anything goes on with the Panthers, he likes for me to give a call. He's on the Fan in Baltimore and likes me to give a call and talk a little Panther stuff. And one of the things that I thought was interesting when we were talking is we were talking about quarterbacks, and I still say P.J. Walker is the best one they've got that's still available. And I cannot remember where I saw this, okay? I'll go ahead and tell you because I can't. But there was an article, there was something that was posted that was about I guess somebody was suggesting a trade, that they trade Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson for Tyler Huntley. There's my man. Good morning, sir. We are live.
Good morning, Lanny. How are you?
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. I told you he was going to call in. I was just going over. I was just talking yesterday. I did a call in with my buddy Rob up in Baltimore, and one of the things that I mentioned to him was there was somebody had tweeted something that they suggested a trade of Robbie Anderson and help me, I've lost old man moment. My quarterback, not Baker, but Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson for, I think his name is Tyler Huntley, the backup quarterback in Baltimore, and a fourth-round pick or something. And I told Rob, I said, you guys would never give up Huntley. And he started laughing. And he said, were you listening to the previous segment on the show? And I said, no, I just when you guys call me, I just come on. And he said that was the exact topic we were talking about, except not in a trade, but is Huntley an NFL quarterback? And I said, absolutely. I said, I thought he played good last year. I said, I think there's a difference between a starting NFL quarterback and a franchise quarterback. I don't think that Tyler Huntley is a franchise quarterback, but I do think he's a starting quarterback that would make a good stopgap piece. We don't have a franchise quarterback in Carolina.
No, but if you would make that trade, one, I don't know if Sam Darnold fits the kind of offense that the Ravens run.
Right.
And two, if you make the trade and it favors the Panthers, then are you looking at a quarterback in waiting, or you just let Baker Mayfield and play this year out and see what happens in free agency? Because we all know that for the Panthers, he's trying to gain a new contract. So he's going to try and play as well as he can so he can get a big-time contract. So do you make that trade with the hopes of maybe making Huntley a starting quarterback in waiting?
Well, I think Tyler Huntley could start today. But I don't think he's a franchise. He's not a 6, 8, 10-year quarterback. P.J. Walker's not either, but I think P.J. Walker's a starting quarterback in the bottom half of the league. He's not in the top 16, but he's in the 16 to 32 based on what we got, in my opinion.
Yeah. And maybe that because of his familiarity with him Matt Rule goes with rules over, P.J. Walker as the backup quarterback because he's worked with him all the way back going to college, and maybe it fits the system better than, we don't even know what the offensive coordinator thinks and how he might want to work with a guy like Huntley. Again, I don't know this late in the year. A lot of times, this late in the preseason, meaning that, I don't know if you make a trade or if you pick up a quarterback. Most of the time, those are veteran quarterbacks, guys that are pretty much comfortable being backup quarterbacks, and they've made a really good living being backup quarterbacks. It's just as an emergency, somebody goes down with an injury, and you got this veteran quarterback, a guy like a Mason Rudolph or a Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that waiting in the wings.
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. And we're not hearing anything out of Cleveland. Are they going to go with backups till Deshaun comes back and just not make a push for this year, or are they going to make a trade? That's still up in the air. I do want to mention this. I just saw this. This just posted less than 30 minutes ago. Lenny Dawson, former quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl number 4, was elected to Pro Football Hall of Fame both as a broadcaster and a player, has passed away at the age of 87. I had seen either earlier this year, well, no, here it is, earlier this month, it was on August the 12th, he had entered hospice care in Kansas City. But he was there with the Chiefs for 14 years as a quarterback, 33 years as a broadcast analyst. And, he stayed in the league for 19 years and as a backup for the Steelers and the Browns in his last 5.
The backup for the Steelers?
Yes, sir. Do you remember that?
Well, I know he came up with the Steelers, and the Steelers released him, and he went to Kansas City. I don't think he ever came back.
Okay, well, when I think of what it said – I'm sorry. I thought it said his last 5 years, but he spent his first 5 years of his 19-year career between the Steelers and the Browns. I read that wrong. Yeah. And played under the great Hank Stram.
Yeah, and he was a guy that played, and I think he led the NFL in passing in the early 60s, all the way up to, he played in the same time that Joe Namath played. He played at the same time that
Johnny Unitas.
Darryl LaMonica. Some really good quarterbacks.
Yep.
He was among the best. And, he was a guy that probably helped put Kansas City Chiefs on the map, he and head coach Hank Stram. But, again, he came up. He's one of those guys, Lanny, that when you think about Hall of Fame quarterbacks, right, he's in the Hall of Fame. Can you name another Hall of Fame quarterback that played at the University of Purdue or Purdue University? Lenny Dawson was a Purdue graduate. Bob Greasy is in the Hall of Fame as a Purdue graduate. The only other guy I can think that was a really good quarterback at Purdue was Drew Brees.
Well, he will be. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. So there's another Purdue quarterback. Hank Stram said he called him the most accurate passer in pro football. He led the AFC in completion percentage at 61% and earned the 1962 Player of the Year honors while carrying the Texans to the league title. Ford and I were talking about this, about when he went into hospice and he had declining health. And I made the comment when I was growing up, you could get football uniforms from Sears back when they had the wish book. Everybody waited for the wish book to come out at Christmas. And you could buy these little football uniforms. Well, I wanted one. But you didn't get to pick numbers, and there wasn't a whole lot of numbers. And the one that I got, they just send you what they got. Mine was a red jersey with the number 16 on it. And during that time, there were 2 quarterbacks that wore red jerseys and wore the number 16. Any idea? Of course, Lenny Dawson was one of them, but any idea who the other one was?
Wore 16.
Yep.
In red jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking Norm Snead.
No, but you're on the right team.
Huh?
You're on the right team.
16. Kansas City.
No, not.
No.
Niners.
Okay. Oh, the Niners wore 16?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
John Brody.
I'm sorry?
John Brody.
John Brody wore number 12.
Was it 12? Why was I thinking John Brody was 16?
I don't know, but he wore number 12. Billy Kilmer was on that team. He wore number 17.
Let's see here. I was thinking like I know because we got in this discussion. He was a precursor to Montana, and Norm Snead was kind of in that realm as well. Why was I thinking he wore? Yeah, you're right. He was number 12. I was thinking it was number 16. I was wrong. Now I've been wrong. My whole childhood is crushed now. He crushed it.
I'm sure there was another number 16 back in the 60s that had a red jersey.
Did you know that John Brody, he went to Stanford. He was a consensus All-American, and he played on the golf team and actually competed on several tournaments on the PGA Tour, and he almost chose golf as his sport.
Wow.
Did not know that.
You know, he, like Lenny Dawson, had a really good career.
Mm-hmm. When they didn't throw the ball.
Huh?
Back when they didn't throw the ball.
Yeah. He had a great career, but he also went on to have a great career in broadcasting, like Lenny Dawson. He worked for NBC for a number of years with Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen.
Mikey Lale, good morning to you, sir. Jeff Taylor, happy birthday, young man. Jeff says, keep matriculating the ball down the field. Bill said Carolina keeps hiring and has been and never was coaches and coordinators. All they do is destroy players. Joe Montana was the other 16. Is that right? At San Francisco, Mikey said.
Yes, correct.
Yep. Montana was the 16 I'm thinking about. But Montana's closer to my age, our age.
Yeah, he is. He's probably your age, Lanny.
He's a year
older.
1 or 2 years. And I'll tell you why I know. When I took my official visit to Clemson in 77, Notre Dame was fulfilling the home-and-home agreement that they had. And that was the first year that Ara Parsegian took over first year Dan Devine took over after Ara Parsegian left. And Joe Montana was the starting quarterback and came to Clemson and play. And Devine made such a big deal about the noise out of Death Valley. It was in all the papers. He just made a huge deal out of it. The band marched their pregame show and never played a note. Okay? They ringed the stadium with cheerleaders, and that place would go when Notre Dame had the ball, that place would go deathly silent. But the trick was when Montana stuck his hands under center, the place was to erupt, and it would. It's exactly what they would do. It was amazing. It was an amazing game. We didn't win, but it was an amazing game.
Wow.
That's way back in the day. Kim said she saw where the coach who inspired Friday Night Lights passed away. Wasn't that a Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odessa, Texas.
Odessa, Texas. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Jeff said that Brody played a number of tournaments on the senior tour.
Yeah, that's right. He did. He played in a golf tournament.
I had forgotten about that as well. But, yeah. That rabbit hole we got down, but now where we're at, he has Lenny Dawson has passed away at 87. I'll take it. I'll take 87 today.
As will I.
Yeah. I'll take 87. Especially, he pretty much worked up until that, kind of like Vin Scully and some of these other guys.
He did, and Lanny, if you follow a lot of things on Twitter. There's pictures that come up all the time of Lenny Dawson taking a cigarette at halftime at a lot of football games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous picture of him sitting at the locker at halftime smoking a cigarette. So obviously he was a smoker for a time, and to go to 87. So yeah, I will gladly trade 87 for sure.
I've told this story too, and I don't know about where you played, but when I was in high school, there are pictures in my yearbook of the coaches on the sideline on Friday night smoking a cigarette during a game.
Yes.
And they always smoked at practice because we couldn't breathe. They would get in that we'd get in a huddle, and they'd come to tell you something, and that cigarette be waving, and that's when we huddled, not the straight line huddle, but got in the huddle. Oh, I can remember it well.
I remember my high school coach doing the same thing. And I don't remember him smoking on the sidelines, but I do remember him at practice. And then there's famous pictures of longtime Hickory coach Frank Barger, smoking on the sideline, kneeling down on one knee,
Yes,
or both knees, like a catcher smoking a cigarette.
There's a picture in our annual, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the pictures of Coach Bird. Coach Beam did not smoke. Coach Childress did. Coach Bird did. Coach Beam, Coach Dellinger did not, but I remember. Now, Richie asked a question. Did Montana make his debut as a starting quarterback against Carolina?
No. You mean
as a
starting quarterback for Notre Dame?
Yes.
I have no idea. That was 1970, what, 5?
That would be about right. I was trying to remember. This would have been the 77-78 season, and I think Montana was a junior, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I'm looking it up now. College games. I don't want the pro games. I want the college games.
Full-time starter in 75, I believe, right?
That's what I'm looking. And he was a third-round draft pick?
Yeah.
He played 7 games in 75. And I'm seeing if I can't get that record, schedule and results. Here we go. That would be an interesting one. They did play, They did play Carolina at Carolina, October the 11th, 1975.
They did.
And so that's very possible.
It said, the thing I'm looking at says that Montana played a key role in Notre Dame's victory.
Okay. All right, there you go, Richie. That's pretty good, Richie. I wouldn't have known that. I would not have known that at all. I'm looking.
And they came back and won. Notre Dame won 21-14 at Chapel Hill, down 14-6 in the final 5 minutes. And Montana helped them to victory. He threw for 130 yards passing, helped them come back to win. And I think that was his first game. He wasn't the starter.
Yeah, but he played. First game he played in?
Yeah.
Okay. Notre Dame came to Clemson on November the 12th, 1977, and they won that game 21-17. Clemson was 15th in the nation, and Notre Dame was number 5. The only game was early in the season that Notre Dame lost. They lost to Ole Miss 20-13. They won the rest of their games that season, including Georgia Tech 69-14.
They beat top-ranked Texas.
They beat Southern Cal 49-19, and Southern Cal was ranked 5th at the time. And they beat number 1 ranked Texas 38-10. Yep, that same year. That was in the bowl game, Cotton Bowl. That's pretty bad for Texas to get beat in the Cotton Bowl.
Yes, it is. We'll go from Lenny Dawson. Now we end up with Joe Montana.
It was number 16.
What a rabbit hole, huh?
Yeah. What else you got on your mind? I'll stop.
A couple of things, Lanny, with college football right around the corner starting this weekend, and I think starts tomorrow night, I believe.
Yes, it does.
Locally, Lenore Ryan will have their final preseason scrimmage Friday night under the lights. They had their first scrimmage last week. Rankings came out yesterday. They're ranked 19th in the nation. They're still trying to settle on a starting quarterback. They look like to be that I would think that with, 10 days to go, 9 or 10 days to go before the season kickoff, Labor Day weekend, that head coach Mike Jacobs will announce who the starting quarterback is going to be, likely after the scrimmage on Friday. I would think you want to go into the first game with somebody as a starter. We'll see, but that's one big question.
What's the name that's being kicked around? His last name,
his
Cash?
name is Austin Cagle.
Cagle.
Austin
Okay.
Cagle, yeah.
I couldn't remember.
He had a really good scrimmage. I saw it last week. Terrific on Saturday. Threw for 3 touchdown passes, completed 16 of 19. It was more of a passing scrimmage than your traditional scrimmage. They did have some running plays, but they threw the ball around a lot. First-team offense versus second-team defense. So it's not necessarily game-like conditions, but that's the biggest question mark coming into the season. They have some weapons on the outside at receiver. They have an All-American running back with some depth, veteran offensive line. I think the question is going to be a quarterback and also probably a little bit on defense, where they have some newbies up front and in the secondary. But the Bears are ranked in the top 20 for the fourth consecutive year, as they're looking for their fourth consecutive berth in the playoffs coming up in 2022.
Wow. What else you got?
With school going on, my knowledge and preparation has been limited.
All right, I'll give you one. How about I give you one?
Okay.
Nick Saban is once again the highest-paid football coach at a public university.
Is it 7 or 8 years? Is he going to go to age 80?
Well, it's a 1-year extension that will run through February of 2030, so it's 8 years, paying an average of 11.7. Now, the big deal with this and the purpose in this was this raises Saban's annual compensation over Georgia coach Kirby Smart, who signed a new deal earlier this season for an average of 11.2 over 10 years.
Well,
does Nick stay in it for 8 more years?
If his health is okay, I would guess why not, right?
He'll be 78.
Man. God bless him.
How old was Joe Pa? 80? Wasn't he in his
80?
80s when he finally stepped down?
Oh, boy. I don't remember.
I believe he was.
Interesting.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I think it's going to stay that way. He's going to be the guy. I don't see that changing at all.
Well, maybe they'll give him time. They'll give him time to come up with a successor, right? A succession plan going forward.
Yeah. Joe Pa was 84 when he retired. He retired in 2011 and then passed away in 2012. Never coached anywhere but Penn State from 1950 to 2011 as an assistant and head coach, 409, 136, and 3. So as a head coach, he was there 45 years. 45 years and only lost 136 ball games.
That's something.
That's less than 3 a year average.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Sir, I won't keep you. I know you've got to go. You've got like a real job and stuff.
Well, I apologize, Lanny, but I got another meeting to get to here.
That's okay.
In about 5 minutes.
Call us anytime. We're always here.
All right, I'll let you know.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
See you, man.
All right. Bye.
That's our man, Juju Phelps, and I've got stuff I've got to do as well. I'm expecting delivery of some equipment, so I'm going to buzz out of here as well. Thanks for joining in this morning. We will be back in the morning, far as I know. My buddy Four, I think, is probably getting ready to stroke the little white ball, if I'm not mistaken. He should be back in here in the morning. Hope you have a wonderful day, Mike. Hope you feel better, get things straightened out there, my friend. We'll see you again in the morning here, right here on the Bottom Line.